as you could. From Stardust to Baco foil, you could wear anything, so long as it wasn't denim.
Not only is it the last show of the tour, but it's the last show that we'll ever do. Thank you. Bye-bye, we love you.
So given the success of glam, many in Britain could not understand when Bowie decided to retire Ziggy at the height of his fame. But Bowie was ready to experiment with something new and for another assault on America.
Diamond Dogs by Bowie. Available on RCA Records and Tapes worldwide. Diamond Dogs by Bowie, a Main Man production.
I'm an alligator. Oh, mama, papa, calling for you. How was the space invader? I'll be a rock and roll bitch for you.
For his Diamond Dogs tour of 1974, which took him right across the States, he reworked his old songs and image. Out went the makeup and stockings, in came nicely cut soul boy suits.
Actually getting to the land of my dreams, as it was then, it was a real discovery for me, and I guess I started soaking up even more American influences, but first-hand this time.
The old classic Gene Genie riff comes from basically the Muddy Waters, I'm a Man, John Lee Hooker, that kind of riff, you know.
I started writing songs city by city. The one that I immediately remember, of course, is Gene Genie. Was definitely out of Detroit and focused around Iggy, an Iggy-type character, to be fully fair. It wasn't actually Iggy. But I wanted a new music, some more musical texture to go into it. And again, jazz was kind of rearing its head. And the juxtaposition of somebody who was right out of left field jazz, working with what we were doing, which was fairly conventional rock and roll, was really kind of interesting.
When I played the tune Time during the Diamond Dogs tour, it was a very theatrical tour, and the band was actually in the pit. It was very much like taking a musical Broadway on the road, a show on the road. And it had a 1920s and 30s setting feel, and I played like a swing-style piano, stride music it was called, in fact, with avant-garde touching. So you'll hear it was something like this.
Time is waiting in the wings. It speaks of senseless things. His script is you and me. Boy.
The new ingredient that really started to help sell Bowie on his return to America was his revolutionary use of a full stage set. Bands had used light shows before, but this was the first time a rock star had gone to a team of Broadway designers.
There were 4 towers that were the basis of the design, and they were made of newsprint that could be torn apart. So Bowie actually climbed one of these towers and destroyed the building during the concert. There was also a bridge across here, and during the concert, the bridge lowered down to the stage so that he could step off of it and sing downstage. And then at the end, it raised up again. And a cherry picker arm. There was a door that opened up, and this cherry picker arm came forward and extended out over the first 6 rows of the audience.
The first time a cherry picker, I think, subsequently used by many others, was used in rock and roll. It was standing upright like that with an office chair on the top, and it was set in the window of a skyscraper, and I was sitting on the office chair on a telephone like some kind of male secretary. And the cherry picker started coming out, and it went out about 40 foot over the audience's heads. And because of the beautiful lighting that we had, you didn't see the rest of the cherry picker, you only saw the office chair suspended out there. At the end of the song finished, I put the telephone back in its cradle. The bloody thing didn't go back. So I was just stuck out there. What the hell am I going to do out here? And the next song started, and so I think I did 3 or 4 songs on this chair. I thought, what am I going to do when the show finishes? I can't go anywhere. I'm going to have to jump. They better catch me. I thought, no, Iggy's already done that.
The press loved it, and the tour sold out in increasingly larger venues.
Hollywood highs, best of the last, greatest star they ever had. Stiff on my legend, films that I made. Forget that I'm 50, 'cause it just got made.
I guess I'm living my fantasy.
What's your fantasy?
Bowie. He represents it all to me. Excitement, space. See, I'm just the space cadet, he's the commander.
I think eventually David Bowie had to change the androgyny, draggy, bisexual creature, as all those little American boys used to say, you know, fag music. He had to change because America just was not ready to completely let that come into the mainstream. Even Alice Cooper had to stop doing drag. Alice Cooper had to stop wearing lady slingback shoes. He had to stop wearing the false eyelashes and the women's old dresses and go more into the horror. People in America could understand horror and blood and dead babies, but they couldn't understand male-female sexuality, you know, bisexuality. They weren't ready to understand.
Alice had indeed got into horror. He too had begun to develop a bigger stage show.
Welcome to my nightmare. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna feel it live.
It got to a point where we were drawing enough people where we could see, well, we could do a football stadium. We could go ahead and do a football. But in order to fill that kind of a stadium, we had to do a bigger show. And we had the means to do it. We actually had the money to do it, so we did.
There were good commercial reasons for bringing theatre into rock music. The economics of touring meant the closure of many of the old medium-sized venues and a need to fill huge stadiums. The music alone was clearly not always going to be enough to do this. One band from New York City took it all to the logical extreme. On the back of their pyrotechnic stage show, Kiss were to sell more records than Bowie, Alice Cooper, and Lou Reed put together.
When we were growing up, I imagine there were many people who were drawing pictures of the race car that they wanted to own someday. I think we probably were different in that during school, we were probably drawing pictures of what the ultimate stage would look like for a rock and roll show. The difference was we reached a point where we would take that drawing to somebody and say, build this.
This is the model of the Kiss Destroyer Tour in 1976. And one of the main elements here was to bring them up and over the amps and down these stage steps left and right, and so that they had energy that could attack the stage. One of the main elements in most of their staging is their Kiss logo. It wasn't designed by us, it really came from them.
Kiss logo was really interesting because The logo that appears on everything to this day, I drew. I drew it in my parents' living room, freehand with a ruler, but without measuring. So I did it for a poster for a dance we were doing in New York City. And if you look on your album covers to this day, the two S's at the bottom are not perfectly parallel because I did it without measuring.